All right, so here it is, my 80 series, 1991. Bought it this August. Super stoked on it. We've been slowly tinkering away and fixing it up. A little bit of stats on it. It's a 1HDT, Japanese, right-hand drive, 5-speed, as you can see there. It's in great condition. Almost zero rust. Nothing you can see in here. A little bit of rust here. Gotta fix that up eventually too. Here's the current issue, burning oil. And we need to figure out why. Ran a compression test across all cylinders, 450, 430, 420, in its normal range, totally safe. But went wheeling last weekend. The bastard's burning oil, so we're gonna figure it out. Compression test is good, there's no blow-by. So I'm thinking turbo. So I'm gonna give it a start now and you guys can check it out. First things first, you gotta check the turbo, see if there's any play or movement. Apparently side to side is bad. Side to side is bad, up and down. If there's a little bit, it's okay as long as it's not touching the actual turbo itself. I'm not really a mechanic, but we're gonna do this anyways. All right. So I don't know if you can see down there. I'll try and show you. That's on the intake side of the turbo. Very dirty, very full of oil. I'm gonna pull off to see if I can see and get some play from the turbo. This is the intake, caked in oil, man. Problem. See what it looks like in there. That's turbo side, come off there. Tested the shaft play on the turbo. Nothing back and forth. A little bit up and down, but that's okay because it wasn't touching anything. So now it's making me think that it might not be the turbo, but I can't really tell. I need to look inside.
Not really sure where I left off yesterday or last night. Once I got into it, started getting a little deeper into the intake manifold and batteries died, and I started to focus more on working than videoing. So I'm just gonna explain what I did and kind of show you what's going on. My intake manifold gasket was leaking, sweating pretty bad, so I decided to remove and took off the intake manifold itself. Had to take off all the injector lines, these guys here. Had to take all these guys off, which was kind of a tricky thing to do. Tip for you guys, anyone who's trying this at home, when you go to take these guys off, mark it with a piece of tape and number it, because they go on a specific sequence and they come off a specific sequence, obviously backwards. And they don't just come off one at a time. You need to loosen off all the ends and then slide them out one at a time. Remember to take these brackets off, and then when you go to put it back on, remember to put the brackets back in, because see those brackets right there? I forgot to put the end plates on them before I put the injection lines back, and it caused me probably lose about an hour worth of work. So I ended up cleaning up the intake manifold itself, which was great. Everything looks nice and clean now, as you can tell, but I still haven't diagnosed my problem, which is the oil. What I ended up doing next yesterday was I ended up taking off the turbo outlet on the compressor side of the turbo, which meant taking off this whole exhaust, as you can see, which is all rusted, and I actually had to cut out a bolt right there, which was a bitch, and eventually ran the turbo with a little piece of cardboard behind the turbo, and no oil came out. So I'm starting to think that it might be a valve issue, and I need to get the valves adjusted. As of right now, I did not get the problem fixed, but I did end up changing out some gaskets, which are nice. So I guess stay tuned. Hopefully I can figure out the problem.